Tattoos have been rapidly increasing in popularity in the UK over the past decade or so. However, with this increase in popularity, has there been a decrease in the discrimination of those with tattoos? That's what I'd like to try and find out. I'll be talking to tattoo artists, employer, and employee, and also getting a public opinion on the matter. To find out whether discrimination is still a prominent force in our society, I figured the best place to start would be to go to the people who know tattoos better than anyone, the artists. Specifically, I went to visit Jamie and Alicia of Runestone and Rain Dance Tattoo Studio in Witney, the place where I got my very first tattoo. Jamie, why did being a tattoo artist appeal to you?
I don't know, when I was probably about 5 years old, I started noticing people with tattoos and I just thought it was so interesting to me. I think also the fact that my parents they're kind of really against tattoos. And I think as a kid growing up, I was just being a bit of a pain, just being a rebel. And then I just got more and more interested in tattoos, and then it kind of progressed into that kind of.
Okay. What are your opinions on a lot of workplaces having restrictions on tattoos? Recently there was a teaching assistant that was turned away by the school because she had tattoos on her neck. She also had piercings, and a lot of even parents were quite outraged by that, but the school still let her go. What are your opinions on that?
I think, with tattoos and piercings, I think they're good in the appropriate place. I think in schools and stuff, I don't think it should be really. I think it's quite right at the school, because I think that it's kind of a bad example for kids when you've got a teaching assistant with piercings all over her face and tattoos on her face and stuff. It kind of gives the wrong kind of, because they're like a role model almost. It's kind of a bad example for kids when you've got a teaching assistant with piercings all over her face and tattoos on her face and stuff. It kind of gives the wrong kind of, because they're like a role model almost. Because if say now we get people coming in wanting tattoos on their hands and their necks and their faces, things like that, I won't really do it unless they're either another tattooist or something like that, where they're sure that they're not going to find another career down the line, because you always change your mind. I love tattooing, but I think I'm pretty much stuck doing tattooing now unless I get my tattoos lasered off. So.
To get an idea of tattoos from an employer's point of view, I went to Abingdon and Witney College to meet Hannah James, the head of faculty of the Oxfordshire Creative Academy. Hannah, are there any specific guidelines that an employer should follow when it comes to hiring someone with tattoos or any other kind of anything considered body art?
Well, as an employer, I'm very aware that there's preconceived notions around people with tattoos, and tattooing or people with tattoos used to be a bit of a counterculture. And now it's much more acceptable, and therefore it needs to be more acceptable in the workplace.
Do you feel you've noticed a change in how tattoos are being treated in the workplace, like you said, in the education system? Do you feel you've really noticed development?
Yeah, working with lots of young students, I would say a very high proportion of them have tattoos. As you do yourself, Dan. In fact, my husband is a professional, works in a professional environment, and he has tattoos. So I asked him how he felt he was perceived in the workplace. Actually, quite a lot of his colleagues don't know he has tattoos. He wears long sleeves to work, and even sometimes worries about wearing white shirts because you'd be able to see their tattoo through. So he's obviously conscious that some people will make a judgment. And then on the other side of that, some of his colleagues, maybe the ones he's closer to, do know, and he likes the fact that they know, because he isn't just another kind of robot in the system.
What is it about getting tattoos that you like? So obviously you haven't got to go into the maybe emotional backgrounds why you have certain tattoos, but
I think I was told before that with tattoos and that, they're kind of linked, it's the psychological things linked to something with plastic surgery, where they have that addiction to always modifying the body to make themselves look I think it's more beautiful kind of thing. It's kind of, it's classed as beauty therapy, I guess.
Yeah. On the subject of the whole drunk tattoo thing, do you not welcome people that just come in like drunk or under the influence of drugs and or alcohol that say, oh, can I have this done here?
Yeah, we'll try and like obviously kind of talk them out of the shop. We're not allowed to tattoo anybody under any sort of influence of drugs or alcohol. Number one, because it's illegal, and number two, because like they're just not fully
Sense into it.
and they don't really know what's going on, so they can have anything on them. So basically,
Do you feel there's anything that still needs to happen to make tattoos a more accepted artwork in a workplace environment? And if you do think there's something that needs to change, how would you say is the best way to go about changing it?
I think in a lot of jobs, tattoos aren't an issue. I think mainly it's in the corporate world, in the business world, where people are expected to put on suits and ties, and that's where it doesn't quite fit the mould. I think there is a slow change as more and more people are tattooed. I would question whether somebody who had a tattoo on their face or on their hands or somewhere exposed, I think they will be judged. And I think that the fact that that person has made a decision to have a tattoo in a very visible place means that they are perhaps deliberately trying to challenge the system, which I think is quite an intriguing concept.
Well, that was all well and good, but now I figured it was time to go out and get some opinions from the general public.
I know that tattoos are more popular now than ever. You see lots of people with tattoos, some good, some bad. But all I can say is that my husband works for a very large firm of accountants in London, and he would not employ somebody who had visible tattoos. He's very against it.
What about maybe teachers in schools that have them? Do you think if they're visible on hands or even necks, do you think that's a good message for children, or have you not?
I don't know that it is a good message for children, but I'm not sure that you can legislate against it.
Okay.
You know, how are you going to force people and say you can't join this profession because you look in a certain way? It's a discrimination, isn't it? So.
What are your opinions on tattoos in a workplace environment?
Appropriateness, so it depends on the type, and it depends on what role you've got. If you're in a public profession, then I think you need to cover up. If you're on a building site, it doesn't make any difference, I don't think.
What about in the education system, like teachers or teaching assistants that have maybe visible tattoos? Do you think they can be good or bad role models for children?
I think there's two answers to that. I've got a personal view, and then there's another view. And at the moment, tattoos seem to be fashionable, and back in the 60s when they all came through and everybody had love and hate and things like that. But now they turn into a bit of an art form. So it depends on students or how old they are. Will it influence people to have a tattoo if somebody else has got one?
Although it seems opinion is divided equally, I can't help but feel that the younger generation is the one that seems to be more open to the idea of tattoos in the workplace and tattoos being accepted in society in general. So could this in fact mean that as our generation goes and as new generations come, will there eventually one day be a time when tattoos are completely accepted? I hope so.